more.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
Well, you ever seen
capitalism is bad? I really don't. It baffles my mind.
You ever see well, I mean, because they're taught that. I mean, they're taught by their all their wokeism bullshit, but
Or just lazy.
Dave, hold on. Let me ask you a serious question, though. A very serious question.
but you
Why
okay.
is it these liberals cannot think for themselves? What condition gets them to that point that says, you know what, I'm just going to listen to whatever's told me.
I don't know, Army Nerd. The one thing I don't like to do is just tell the other side that they're this, and this. I don't. That's not my style, man. I know where you're at with it, and I do feel the same way in some aspects, but in some ways I don't. They're indoctrinated, man. They're indoctrinated in some stuff. It's not like they can't think for themselves, but they're indoctrinated like they think we are. And it's a veil. Somebody's got a veil over their eyes. I don't think it's me.
Well,
But do they realize, too, that a lot of people like me or you, we criticize Trump, too, when he steps over that line. We don't like some of the things he says.
No, there's not too much I don't like he says, except for the Black Lives Matter. I think he could have done a lot better with that. I think if Donald Trump would have took the reins with the Black Lives Matter and made it his, I think he could have fucking just dominated that. I really do. I think that is something that he could have capitalized on that he didn't. I really do. I think he could have.
Okay, in what way, though? In what way?
So you can recognize that there's a problem with our police department. You know, you can recognize that there's a problem with training and get behind a movement and get the organizers of the movement and try to rally them with finances. Donald Trump's one of the best PR guys there is out there. And if he would have rallied behind BLM, I think he will now. I think he'll change it somehow.
Well, I don't know, because he also realizes what BLM did is because of some.
That's not the BLM though. See, that's where we're wrong. It's not BLM. It's not BLM. It's the fucking people. It's the angry people. Just like it's not the Proud Boys. We got to stop putting everybody in a category, man.
He should reach out to these groups.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We have to stop Army Nerd. We have to stop hitting this brick wall with our head and not realizing it wasn't the January 6th people. It was the bad people that did the bad things. It wasn't the Proud Boys. It was the bad leadership that allowed some of these things to happen. It's not BLM. It's the people along. But I do penalize the people that are in charge of these groups. So let's use the Oath Keepers, for instance. Like I support the fucking Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers and stuff like that, right? But the thing is I think they made a bad move with their leadership. I think their leadership really did a bad move when they were organizing. I remember, and I'm going to tell you something. I was almost a part of that chatter. I was almost a part of that shit because I was on fucking Telegram and speaking with some of these people and stuff like that, and I was almost a part of that. And the leadership. If let's just say I'm a Proud Boy, right? And I'm hanging out with people and I'm allowing somebody to be a racist fucking asshole. What kind of leader am I being, man? If I'm allowing myself to be around that and go out there and so we have to realize that. That's why I hold BLM responsible, the leaders of, and that's where I was disappointed in Trump a little bit because I think he could have capitalized on that. I think he could have made that into a good thing. He's a good
let me
PR.
disagree with you on that part, okay? And here's where I stand. And again, you and I have known each other for a while now. We know how we go back and forth on this. So let me ask you this. And here's my issue with the Black Lives Matter. I agree with the concept in and of itself. What I don't agree with is like when we're hearing that some of the upper echelon was buying $1 million homes, paying out hundreds of thousands of dollars for security. Why didn't the national group say, you know what? No, that's not what we're about. But what also happened in that case,
because it was the people afterwards, Army Nerd. It was the people afterwards, like at these events.
No, because
it pretty much was. It pretty much was.
Because keep in mind, all these people who were unalived due to police actions. Black Lives Matter saying, "Oh, all this money is going to go to these people."
But you're not.
But they didn't. They never received a dime from it, and that's what.
But Army Nerd, I think you're not understanding. Like when these protests are happening, and these people out after the protest, what you typically have is whenever Black Lives Matter would show up, there would be a bunch of conservatives that'll show up too. Okay, and they're out there protesting, and then the conservatives are like, "You better not tear up our town" and shit like that, right? I've been to these things. I know what goes on. Okay, I have it on video. I've talked to their fucking public relations and all that shit. Okay, so what usually happens is they're fighting, they're arguing, and then this conflict happens. And yes, you see minorities that are breaking stuff, hitting stuff. Their emotions are hitting them. They're getting them because unfortunately you do have racist people in the world, and that's where we get painted a bad picture. They start calling them nasty names with the N-word and stuff like that, and this conflict happens, and people are angry, and then they go start looting shit, and you got criminals doing this. And the bad part is Donald Trump, and this is where I criticize Donald Trump. I told you the one thing I criticize him. I love everything Donald Trump does.
That is what.
But Donald Trump and Al Sharpton, in my opinion, because Al Sharpton was a good leader.